welcome to episode 7 of the Rooster Teeth Community Highlight, a show in which I take some community-made content of all walks of the Rooster Teeth life and show them to you, so they get the attention they deserve. Again, every week there's a pause between that. Taking some comments from last week's episode, I'm going to try and tone down the spring in my spine, because last week I was doing a lot of this, and I have no idea what this is doing to the audio. Probably can't be helping. Jokes are funny when you do them for too long, so they stop being funny. Up first, we have this image done by Ash Denji, and to the unknowing eye, it could just look like a novel. I mean, it's got that sort of look of like one of those help yourself novels. Stop being a dick. That's the one I would write. You know, top 10 tips on not to be a dick. Don't be me. That's a good one. But upon closer inspection, you realise that actually it is a novel written by none other than Michael Jones. And with the amount of raging he does, I think he would have some of the best tips to try and keep it cool. One thing I would kind of like to do with this image is take it and just sort of have an actual book to read while watching any of the Rage Quit episodes, because that would be a contradiction in itself, reading the book going, one of the top tips to stay calm, fucking! You know, I mean, that was my best. That was me just having a spasm while yelling the word fuck. The book design itself actually comes across as quite professional. I mean, as you find with most anger books, they tend to have an image not exactly related to the issue, because, I mean, when you see like a snowy trees and stuff, it's really hard to get pissed off at it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Michael could find a way, you know, just give him a controller, sit him in front of him, tell him it's a new game, and he'll bitch about the controls, because they're just stationary trees. Speaking of trees, which is probably the worst segue I've ever done. I was going to do, speaking of trees, then speaking of trees in Minecraft. Okay, well, I'm just going to move on from that. So Smile on the website created this image, and if you look at it, you might just think, no, he hasn't. He's just taken a picture. This is an aerial view from Minecraft. He's literally gone a picture of Carrie, moved it up, and done it on a block for block scale, which, I mean, I understand is incredibly hard, but what's even more impressive is that he's done it at like a diamond shape. I mean, trying to have to triangulate. Kerry doesn't really get enough love in this show. I mean, this is his first appearance, and it is somewhat fitting. It is Minecrafty. Is it? No, it's not that. I don't know. It's happy to have you, Kerry. This shows a lot of dedication from Sir Smile, because not only did he create this image in Minecraft block by block, which I can't imagine how long it took, but also somewhat credit to Carrie for not having a face that not having a face. That's great. But I guess there's also credit to Carrie for having a face that could easily be pixelated. I think it's a win-win. After debuting Carrie this week, I think we're going to continue debuting more characters. Moving into the Red vs. Blue series, we have this image of the pilot. Artigo did this piece on the website, and it shows the pilot sitting on a bench with all the stars above her, holding a miniature pelican in her hand, and it's a very beautiful piece. I mean, slowing down the pace slightly. As I mentioned before, it's always great to see users of the website expand the Red vs. Blue universe, the Ruby universe, anything that from their own pieces of artwork. I mean, for us, we never really saw the face behind the pilot, but we really got a feel for her personality, and for them to see her in the episode and think, you know what, this girl right here needs some more attention. I'm gonna, you know, get her sassy. I think what really works well about this image is the composition. Up in the foreground, you have the most important image. You have the pilot with the pelican in hand, and that takes away your focus. But then if you look sort of behind her at all the stars and the background and everything, it's very scenic, and it somewhat gives a perspective into why she became a space pilot. Probably not for the hot LZs, but LZ's landing zone. See, you're learning army terms. Educated. The final image this week is done by the Rogue Spider, and brings the real world and the Ruby world together. I mean, that by itself blows minds, because, I mean, I would like a massive scythe gun, or daggered guns, or actually, I could take my shoot stab that I created from last week, which has now been dismantled. But what you actually have in this image, you have Ruby Rose face to face with Lindsay Tuggy, the voice actress and the actual character and it's a cute because the faces and they. One thing I really like about this piece is the facial expressions. As you look on both Lindsay and Ruby's faces, there's a lot sort of suspicion. They don't quite trust each other yet, which I guess if Lindsay somehow walked into the Ruby universe, she might be freaking the fuck out. I didn't mean to. I mean, like, in fairness, if you were part of a show that you created and then you ended up in that show for reals, and it would be scary. I mean, especially the Ruby universe with the monsters, the guns, the scythes. Overall, I like how the cartoonish style sort of jumps out at you. And I personally hope that the Rogue feature continues to do these in the future for other characters like Yang and Jean. I mean, there's no end. Well, I mean, unless we stop getting introduced new characters. Okay, I'm just babbling now. In the description below, you'll find a song created by Tej, aptly titled "The Worst Red vs. Blue Remix Ever of All Time." Obviously, not because it is the worst one ever. It's actually really good. Although I really recommend you do take a few moments of your time to listen to this piece done by Tej, because it takes a shit ton of quotes from Red vs. Blue. It takes some what I mean, not what I mean. It literally, basically, it's like a collaboration of so many sound clips from Red vs. Blue mashed together into a song. And he's even said himself that he is working on a remix to update it. But I mean, why wait? Why wait for him to fix it when you've got this thing to dance to? And my arms, they just keep. See, you can tell I'm getting excited when I have no control over either my spine or my arms, and I just fucking squid it, mate. So that's the end of all the community submissions this week. On to events, and this weekend is PAX Prime, in which Rooster Teeth, they have a booth. Go if you're in the PAX Prime area. Go. Again, tickets and money are somewhat needed, so you can't just walk in and just blag it. You're gonna have to buy, which they might have been sold out. So I might be telling you this a little bit late. Not my fault. I know it is my fault. I'm sorry. Otherwise, don't forget to check out. The Rooster Teeth podcast 233, in which they talk about the Tower of Pimps in Minecraft. I mean, the tutorial. They're famous. But then anyway, thanks again for watching. This has been Matthew, aka Matchow, on the Rooster Teeth website. If you have any submissions of your own, don't forget the website rtcommunity@live.com, and be sure to tune in again next week. Again, gonna slowly step out and